Right, hello CTL audience, welcome back. This will be the third place match between Purdue A and the University of Washington A. I'm Science Cypher once again coming this slot.
And I'm ZBK.
And I'm
Happy to be
Absurd
here
Potato.
again.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what do you think of the draft for these two teams?
So, Washington definitely has a bit of an uphill battle because Purdue was seeded third originally, and Washington was seeded sixth originally before playoffs. So the Purdue composition is they're pretty balanced. Like everyone's like mid to high X. But the Washington one is they have Grape in as their X plus or best player, and then they have Unommed, who's mid X, and flowerpetal, Keatson Black or Interogator, who are low X, and then Koopa Lover, who is high U. So it's a bit difficult for them, but they still can win. So the win con for UDUB is for Grape to beat anyone, because Grape beats everyone on their team, and Koopa loses to anyone on their team. So they will need 2 of Unommed, Flower, and Interogator to win. Or that's their most likely path. And Purdue will be trying to avoid this, especially by trying not to put Element T and Tillvit into Grape. So
yeah, I had a question. I think you wrote in the notes here that Purdue has a pretty typical drafting strategy where they like to ban the 2 lowest players, and then they either go loss win win or loss win loss win.
yes.
What do you think to expect? What do you expect from this draft here?
Washington is still a strong team, so I don't think they'll be doing that because that's typically only done when your team is significantly better, and UW is still formidable. So I'm thinking they could either ban Grape and Unommed, Grape Koopa, or maybe even flowerpetal and Interogator. So we'll see what they decide. But yeah, they just want to. Purdue just wants to avoid an upset from one of their other players.
Yeah, for sure. But I know definitely from talking to both the captains here, Interogator is very gung-ho about the whole thing. I think he told me verbatim, we win if we play better, which I think you always win if you play better, but I guess that's especially true for this match in regard to the stats and how they work out.
Yeah, whereas Purdue
is generally trusting the stats here. I do believe they have a sub. I think that's Pentag. I forgot who they're subbing out for here.
Yes, if they sub out Pentag, Pentag is around the same rank as basically everyone else except Element T and Tillvit, who are a little higher ranked than the other players. So it shouldn't change their draft strategy at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there should be sending in Pentag instead of Mission Failed there.
Okay, yeah, they're around the same rank. So it's still just gonna be they want to avoid Element T or Tillvit going to Grape because they're a little stronger. So they don't want Grape to farm one of their top 2 players.
Yeah.
So they might just ban their top 2.
Notably, one thing I think Purdue has brought up, and this didn't come up on UW's side, but Purdue has mentioned that they want to send Pentag versus Unommed. I think they seem to be friends in high school or something, so they're trying to get some sort of cinematic, friends to rivals match going there.
Oh. Yeah, I think that actually is pretty favorable for UW as well, just because they want Unommed to just beat someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is kind of down to flowerpetal and Interogator to just get an upset.
Yeah, those two have a lot of history together, so that should be an interesting matchup if it happens. But certainly, yeah, the onus is on UW to make something happen here.
Yeah.
But players should be getting to the lobby here. How's it going for you guys? It's a calm Sunday afternoon here in California. I don't know. For UC's, it's a core system, so I know we're week 10, very busy. Sign, how about you?
I'm currently on my last day of spring break. I mentioned this during the previous ComSat, but stuck in New York City right now, at home, just because my flight got canceled. So,
Oh, no.
yeah,
Unlucky.
looking to hopefully make it back tomorrow morning before class. Just looking kind of scuffed, but, hey, I don't know. Hopefully we make it.
The things we do for CTL.
Bro, dead ass. Well, okay, this wasn't really on CTL. This is because of a certain airline that I will not mention because I don't need to get sued. But
And it does look like the rosters are going to be locked in here. Yeah, I think that will be Pentag instead of Mission Failed there. And then UDUB with just the standard roster. So we'll see how the bands come through.
that's kind of
Yeah.
sad for me. Mission failed. Went to high school with me. Oh my god, ain't that crazy?
Oh wow.
Lots
Yeah,
of
actually-
high school matchups. I know.
Oh,
I think
actually-
Absurd Potato. You've mentioned that you
Actually-
have some like high school connects as well.
Yeah. We'll see what these bands are, but no matter what, they need Grape to do well, which is expected. They need Unommed to win. Yeah. Just to go over that again. And the Unommed should win, and they want Interogator or flowerpetal to win. So UDUB probably only has one option for bans, to be honest, because the bottom three of Purdue are all basically like the same player in terms of skill, while their top two are, so banning two of those wouldn't really do anything. Whereas their top two players are a little stronger than others in LMNT and Tillvit. So they might want to get rid of those in the blind pick just to not get destroyed by them.
Yeah, looks good. As I think we will be getting into the band phase here, just by reading the channel here. So there is some talk in the lobby. I don't know. Maybe the two teams already decided on who to send. Kupala is talking like he's going to be in the first match, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And notably, I think something I mentioned last match, but in this match too, Cyan can confirm, but I think donations are still open for CTL. We are still a little bit off of that last donation goal, third to last donation goal, one hot sauce shot for every upset with CTL head organizer. That'll be exciting. Did you ever get an update on whether that's the last dab or Tapatio or
I
Salt,
think
maybe?
apparently Trooper here is scared of doing last dab. I just think Trooper's a
Come on.
little weak, but
I know.
yeah, I mean, presumably it'll be some generic hot sauce, but like, I love to see Trooper suffer because apparently Trooper is not like I think Trooper can eat spicy, but I don't think like, first of all, I don't know, I feel like Trooper here would sweat a little bit, which is very entertaining for all of us who want to point and laugh.
For sure. I think Take Cheese here is saying that that's over 50 shots. Maybe it wouldn't be good for your health if you took 50 shots at the last dab. So maybe it's what it is.
Saying skill issue. You are weak. Anyways.
Poor guys. He can't even fire back.
No matter what.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, the bans will be coming through. I think that's UDUB's first ban here. We're not sure what it is yet because they will be coming out at the same time here.
just waiting on that. Yeah, just very exciting to see these two teams. Once again, Purdue was the second place team last year after upsetting UFT, and now they're fighting for third place this year, which I think is like pretty, a decent prize for them. Just for pride more than anything else. Wash here hasn't really won anything yet, so this would be kind of big for them. They can all get the TETR.IO badges for placing third, so that'd be it's kind of a big up for Wash as opposed to Purdue, I feel like.
Yeah, and I know UDUB have been super in terms of like the team morale has been very solid there. Planning very well for their wins, taking their one loss against UCLA in stride. And I know Interogator for sure has been very proud of how his team has been doing this year. But I think that's the first round of bans. Oh, excuse me, both rounds of bans have come through. So that's on the side of UDUB. The bans are Tillvit and LMNT, and Purdue, that's Koopa Lover and Unommed. So we'll have to see how that goes in the blind pick. Episode Potato, what do you think we're going to see?
I'm surprised they banned Koopa and Unommed. I thought they would have banned Koopa and Grape, but they're assuming they don't want to use a strong player early. So, and since LMNT and Tillvit are banned, I actually kind of like this for Washington because they get one of their good matchups, which is flowerpetal and or Interogator, into one of their bottom three, which is favorable for them because they have to get that upset in order to win. So I actually like this for Washington, and I find the ban a little odd, but I guess if they're just in their head, so they just know.
Yep, and that will be the blind pick coming through. That's Girls Hate Me versus Kita Black there, Interogator.
Okay, yeah. So this is a pretty even matchup. I feel like both players are in that like low to mid X kind of range, so should be pretty exciting to start this off.
Yeah, I'd say Girls Hate Me is slightly favored, but nothing that can't be overcome with a bit of luck and a bit of you're never always playing at a perfect 10 out of 10. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Girls Hate Me citing that. Fun fact is they are 5'2", 300 pounds, which is honestly pretty impressive. So
yeah.
And then Kita Black, we have Fate, Destiny, Fatinately. People toss those words around like tennis ball. Well, I eat balls for breakfast. Right. These are some peak fun
What an
facts.
Interesting fact.
Notably, one thing I remember about Kita Black is big fan of the extended SDPC opener. Super explosive out that opener phase. So it'll be interesting to see how they play against Girls Hate Me, Arazdaz, who is a little bit stronger against cleaner players like that. The strong spikes, they're very good at counter spiking, very methodical, and not too shabby on the kill openers themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but we will be getting into a warm-up here. That early-o will be coming in the queue. Both players will go for an opener here. That should be MS2 from Girls Hate Me, with the SCBC from Kita Black. I'm not going to have time to build the full thing, so that big spike, yeah. And Kita Black is in a bit of trouble here, but Girls Hate Me doesn't really have anything yet, but unfortunately, that down stack is going to be pretty rough. Not quite going to get it over, and that will be the round for Girls Hate Me. But it's just a warm-up. We will see how it actually plays out during the match.
Yeah, big opening sequence there. We saw both players. We saw Girls Hate Me use a C-spin to PC opener, while we saw Kita Black with the very now semi-infamous SCP spin, which has just been like a season 1 and season 2's like staple at this point. So
yeah,
should just be some very aggressive openers.
Yeah, somehow it got even stronger. I feel like between season 1 and season 2, I felt like it was already so strong last time, but Girls Hate Me here.
Yeah, I've been using it for ages.
Yeah. But maybe a slight misdrop there from Girls Hate Me. Just opting to build straight into the 6-3 and see that explosive opener of Kita Black, the extended SCBC, is just going to blow Girls Hate Me up with the massive surge spike. Kita Black chatting in the chat, raw. Pretty happy to get that first round win there.
Yeah, Kita Black once again with the extended SCBC. Girls Hate Me opting for a bit of this LST stack. Keeping it clean right now. Is doing just fine. Should be able to live this and is able to open up the well. It's going to take a second to down it, but does eventually get through.
Yeah, I like the adaptation there. Pretty wise to knowing that opener came out. Maybe a little bit of strategy from Kita Black to not use it in the opener to kind of sneak that last round by. But I imagine it'll be much harder to get through in the future here as Kita Black pushed all the way to the top of the board. Does have a down stack, but is getting down there a little bit slow and is unfortunately not going to be able to get the eye in time to finish the down stack.
gets both players on the board, tying it up at a 1-1. So as predicted, this should be a pretty close match from what we've seen so far.
MS2 coming out from Kitasan Black doesn't have a super good way to keep Surge, unfortunately, so he's just going to get down there. Girls Hate Me with a pretty nice sequence, but both players are on a relatively clean board here. I like, though, the weight here from Kitasan Black. That's a pretty big spike that's going to come out, but not quite going to top out Girls Hate Me.
It's on back, finding some crucial down stack at the top of the board, putting on that pressure. Girls Hate Me pushed up a little bit right now, but it's finding a couple of good down stack combos, keep themselves alive here, and makes their way to the bottom. Both players kind of in a neutral position right now. He's on black, though slightly higher up. It should be able to down stack this just fine.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of the ping-pongy sort of style we would expect to see from these players. You know, pretty clean, they're not super cheesy, and you know, the all spins are there, but they're not exactly a major point of the match here. As both players are going to be cheesed up a little bit here. Girls Hate Me is in a pretty rough position, but he's able to clean it up pretty well.
Right, so we have Girls Hate Me trying to put on a little bit of this pressure right now, just with the 9-0 stack. Probably going to convert this into just a standard... Oh, gets a mini S-spin instead, actually. Gets a big downstack spike for the 10, but Kitasan Black doing just fine here. Is going to be able to downstack this in a little bit of a combo. And seems to be okay, a little bit cheesed up, but should be able to dig out of this pretty soon.
Meanwhile, Girls Hate Me looking like there's a bit of a misdrop on their side of the board. Doesn't have to count to 4 there, just trying to get down, but might come back to bite them. Barely able to get that eyepiece through in time. But still has a lot of cheese to contend with. Luckily, Kitasan Black doesn't really have anything yet. And both players are just looking to kind of get into a clean position here. And I feel like this is a situation you end up in a lot, where both players are just kind of scared to stack up for big sends, and it leads to these kind of grueling long rounds here.
Girls Hate Me kind of misdropping a lot here, struggling with this down stack. Is going to take a long time to get out of this. Kitasan Black, though, can't really seem to find a quick punish, and I think Girls Hate Me can find the down stack combo for this into a big multiplier for the 15. Kitasan Black here does need to survive this. Got a couple crucial skims and is keeping themselves you know, alive here, doing just fine. So it's a great navigation of defense by both players.
Yeah, we're already into a 2.5 minute round after these really quick first rounds, but that T-piece is not going to get over from Kitasan Black, and that delay is going to do it. The extra gravity maybe coming in and allowing Girls Hate Me to take that round.
Alright, so once again, both players starting off with this SDPC. Kitasan Black, but going for the extend. The Girls Hate Me just going straight into the SDPCs. And oh, but the double misdrop in the middle! Wait, Kitasan Black can win this! Just needs a couple more signs, just needs a couple more lines, and that's gonna be it. I think, yeah, punishing the misdrop out of the opener.
Yeah, Girls Hate Me did go for like a little bit of a wait there to try to counter spike, but unfortunately just got caught a little lacking after the wait. And another really tragic misdrop is going to come out from Girls Hate Me. Luckily, Kitasan Black here doesn't have as explosive as an opener. Maybe going to be able to live here, but it is going to be tough. Kitasan Black breaks Surge and is not going to get killed, and I think Girls Hate Me should be safe here. So solid survival there. And now it's Kitasan Black who's pushed all the way up to the top. And we're going to see if he can find the down stack, but it's just slightly too slow. And that would be another round of Girls Hate Me right there.
Good stuff there from Girls Hate Me to punish that, you know, that position from Kitasan Black. Okay, we have Girls Hate Me with the LST, Kitasan Black with the TC to C-spin to PCO with the big 29 spike. But Girls Hate Me navigating that beautifully and is going to continue putting on this pressure. Already has a little bit of surge built up, though is actually kind of cheesed up from Kitasan's very cheesy send, so might have to break eventually, does so, but Kitasan Black navigating this really well.
Yeah, I really like that that down stack there, very creative with the all spins, and even there to stack high like that to open up the well as fast as possible. Kitasan Black's defense is really on point today.
Ooh!
As, unfortunately, yeah, that's just going to be so much damage coming out from Girls Hate Me. Kitasan Black is, even with that defense, going to get topped out. But another Leo here, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, once again, Kitasan Black with this extended STPC. Girls Hate Me with this C-spin to PCO. Wait,
Yeah,
C-spin to
slight misfold
PC.
Yeah, trying to clean it up as best he can, but is going to be forced to break surge there and might even die. And yeah, slightly too slow for the eyepiece. That is going to be a top out for Kitasan Black. Just a really unfortunate T missile there. And Girls Hate Me is already 5-2, just kind of running away with the match after those pretty close early rounds.
Alright, once again with the opener, Girls Hate Me with the LST. Honestly does it pretty fast at 3.7 PPS with the very consistent pressure, and it lets you build up a good amount of surge. So a good choice here. Kitasan Black pushed all the way to the top of the board, though is going to be able to navigate this and find the down stack.
Yeah, building a bit of a mosaic on the side of Girls Hate Me, and Kitasan Black is going to be able to take advantage of that to steal another point away there.
Yeah, right. That was quite the Picasso piece from Girls Hate Me. So,
Yeah, for sure.
once again, both players doing identical openers here with the C-spin to PC. But Girls Hate Me trading to tank, gets the color clear, and has a slight amount of pressure being put on early, but Kitasan Black doing just fine to navigate this, and is going to be able to build up a little bit of surge.
Yeah, in a bit of a weird spot. I think the parity's not quite right there. So Kitasan Black is going to... Yeah, a massive 29 spike, but Kitasan Black is going to be able to take that from the bottom of the board. And he's going to be able to open that with a nice donation there.
So we have Girls Hate Me just navigating a left side who is forced to break surge there, but Kitasan Black has some massive misdrops to contend with as well. Both players are semi-cheesed up, though Kitasan Black seems to have navigated the board state much faster. Girls Hate Me is going to be digging for a second here. It's taking so long to find the way out.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is that Kitasan Black, even at the bottom of the board, is sometimes kind of struggling to find these kills, and I think that's what's been the major difference maker, is that Girls Hate Me is able to take advantage of those advantage positions a lot better. But as I say that weight coming out from Kitasan Black might lead to a kill with a 21 spike, and that should be it. I don't see a down stack for Girls Hate Me.
Yeah, Kitasan Black pulling this even closer. Like, this is, been pretty even between both players. Both are giving about as good as they can get.
Amasteus will come out again. Kitasan Black not opting for the PC variant this time, which I think is good. Tried to time it last time, but didn't quite get it through. But a little stuck on the top of the board, and yeah, that downstacking inefficiency, Girls Hate Me is going to jump all over that, and that's going to be match point for Girls Hate Me.
Yeah, Kitasan Black kind of just struggling out of the opener there, like continuing the stack, so it took too long to get into that. Both players doing 4 PPS openers though, going as fast as they possibly can right now.
Yeah, Kitasan Black with a really, really solid board here. Girls Hate Me is a little cheesed up. We'll see if Kitasan Black can get it, but Girls Hate Me is almost in the clear. Just got a few more lines of cheese to get through. Yeah, and again, nothing is coming out of Kitasan Black here, and it's just going to be really unfortunate that he can't find that kill. And now Girls Hate Me is on a pretty clean board.
Alright, so we have Kitasan Black just trying to downstack a little bit, trying to get the board a little bit lower into a more comfortable position. Girls Hate Me trying to go for a little bit of ultimate to start building up some of this surge. Already out as a decent start, and Kitasan Black doesn't have the best board state, forced to continue skimming. So it's just going to take a second to get through this. Girls Hate Me already built up a significant surge lead, sends it off, but just doesn't find anything. Kitasan Black taking it in stride.
Z-spin triple coming out from Girls Hate Me. Some slight misdrops, but is going to be able to clean it up. Kitasan Black trying to count to 4, is able to find it. And now in a really weird position with the 8-1 sec. I don't super love it, but yeah, as expected, bails out of it pretty quickly. Yeah, an all clear coming up from Girls Hate Me. Mid-game PC, you love to see it, but it's not going to do much to keep Sun Black is at the bottom of the board. And in fact, he has now a pretty solid send opportunity. With the 4 surge coming out, Girls Hate Me waiting, forced to break surge. And now at the top of the board with a lot of cheese. So keep the Sun Black really needs to find a send here that can kill. And that might be it.
Oh.
Yeah. Just barely off of the
Yeah, so close there, but Kitasan Black staying alive on match point here. Once again, with this extended SCPC, Girls Hate Me big misdrops. This could be the tiebreaker.
Spike should be coming out in a moment here. Just got to find the break. Doesn't even need the break. And that's going to be 6-6. Kitasan Black, good luck is in the chat. And we'll see with this early O how this match pans out. Both players are
Nice
opting
drop.
for
Oh, no, it's a big misdrop.
That is a really bad misdrop from both sides. So we are going to probably get into a mid-game situation here. Both players are able to kind of build out of that relatively cleanly, but Kita Block is in a really weird position and just isn't able to find that two-line clear. And that will be the round to Girls Hate Me with a very close 7-6.
Yeah, nice try there from Kiyosan Black, keeping it basically as close as possible. It was went all the way to tiebreakers, but Girls Hate Me kind of clutching it out there on the last round. Both players misdropping the opener, but just slightly cleaner in the mid game. All right.
Yeah. And now, like, I guess the question is, do they buy counterpick? Which is, honestly, I don't mind if UW buys counterpick. However, it's kind of difficult to decide because round 2 counterpick is almost never viable. But right now, it would only cost 2 points. So we have to look at what Purdue would be blind picking in that case. So
yeah, I find it hard to imagine that a round 2 counterpick is on the table because I kind of like the situation for UW that Purdue has to send someone, and then from there UW kind of controls what match they get going into the third round, or going into the assuming that they choose to go for a loss, they have
Yes.
control over what match they get going to the third round.
Yeah, so even though there is only a 2-point differential, if they buy counterpick, it's probably not a good idea because of that, like you said, the third round loss that they do want with Koopa Lover. So we'll just have to see how UW responds to a blind pick. They will probably just be drafting opportunistically, like just to get the win. With their weakest win that they can get. So for example, like if they send LMNT, they'll send Grape. But if they send like Mission Failed, sorry, not Mission Failed, Pentag, they'll probably just send Unommed just to get that clean win. They'll have 2 wins on the board, and they can lose the third round. And then, yeah, they're just in a very good spot because then they get the 2 counter picks for 4th and 5th round.
Yeah, so speaking of Pentag, I believe Cookie has called Pentag there. Their send. Pentag really wants to play against Unommed here, but UW is deliberating here who to send.
Yeah. It probably will just be, Unommed, which is good for UW.
Yeah.
As long as Unommed wins.
Purdue has described
a pretty close match between the two. Is it Unommed? I'm surely right.
No confirmation yet. From what I can see, I think UW does have some consideration to kind of figure out what they can get away with, because again, they are kind of playing from behind here. So there are some considerations of you don't always want to send your strongest players right away, but it's hard to imagine who they might send into Pentag otherwise.
Okay, it's Unommed. Should be.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that makes sense. And they just want to win.
Alright.
This is the high school matchup that we were talking about. I called it friends to rivals earlier. Koopa Lover since corrected me, said it's more like enemies to lovers. And his words, not mine. So we'll have to see, but we should be getting to warm up here.
Absolute cinema. Alright. Okay, so let's get a look at what these players can do. Unommed here starting off with the SDPC. Pentag here just with some low T-spin, setting up a little bit of back-to-back already. Unommed isn't going to be able to maintain this. It's forced to break out. And it's struggling a little bit with the down stack. Doesn't have the T, needs a long time to get to it, but Pentag doesn't really have the board state to punish that.
Yeah, Unommed was in a bit of a weird situation, but it was a good Prophecy L-spin there. But he's going to be still pushed up to the top of the board. Meanwhile, Pentag is going to be pretty relaxed here. Unfortunately, Unommed can't really get anything going on the down stack here, but he's able to open up that well.
Waiting for a second there, but Unommed does finally manage to just rip the double quads. Unommed here just choosing to skim down a little bit. Needs to fix this board state, which is probably wise. And it's just going to be able to open up a little bit. Not playing too aggressively right now, just kind of just hoping, you know, to get into a better board state and punish Pentag in a bad position.
Yeah, and this is another thing that came up where, from Pentag specifically, he believes that despite the TR difference in this match, I think him and Unommed play a lot together. So he thinks it'll be a lot closer than what the TR difference seems to indicate, and kind of proving that there with the round on the warm-up.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how it pans out getting into the game here. Unommed just calling for a divorce. So
Yeah.
I like that yeah, pretty rough, but I do like that the vibes seem to be up from both teams here.
It's okay, they'll reconcile later. This is the plot of the... this is the plot of Peak Yowie.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think we're still getting for UCLA, UCLA Yowie as one of the donation incentives, so do watch out for that.
Yeah, I know definitely our Tetris manager is big into the boys love genre, but that's neither here nor there as we get into the match. Pentag here already pushed to the top of the board, I think maybe just got caught off a little off guard in the opener. Tries to greed to get that ice piece out, but isn't able to get in time, and Unommed's going to take a quick first round there.
Alright, now we have Unommed here once again with this SDPC spin, just doing it at like 4.4 PPS. Pentag playing it safe though, keeping it low, is just able to downstack through it, not really feeling the effects of the opener too much.
Yeah, it's a bit of an overstack, so unfortunately we'll have to break Surge there. And now doesn't have anything for the T-spin, just kind of nosedived his own board there. And that's going to be really tough because now he's on the back foot. Eyepiece over the well is you hate to see it, but doesn't see another downstack opportunity in time. He's able to clean it up though. Should be relatively safe going forward. Doesn't opt for the T-spin triple.
We just have Pentag here with a little bit of Surge. We're just gonna break it, kind of just into nothing. Unommed not really feeling that either, so we just have kind of neutral position. Unommed trying to build up a little bit of back-to-back right now. Has a pretty decent 6-3 stack for it, but also just forced to break.
Yeah. So both players here are just not really finding opportunities to build up Surge, which I think will make a lot of these rounds a lot longer, as Pentag does find that mid-game all clear. Yeah, but definitely Unommed choosing to prioritize speed here, whereas Pentag has a bit more of a measured gameplay. But as I say that, Unommed with a pretty big spike there. The Surge advantage going to come out. 34 spike down the board, and that will be another round to Unommed.
Yeah, good stuff here from Unommed, taking a quick 2-0 lead. Pentag, actually both players opting in for the TKI, just, you know, playing it a little bit safer. Pentag seems to have slightly misdropped, converts into a nice mini Z-spin, but just gonna have to continue to skim out of it. Needs to open up this well pretty soon, does so. Looking for the count to 4, but it's a little bit greedy. Though Unommed sends over the Surge Break, and it kind of just does nothing. So now we have Pentag the one putting on the pressure, but Unommed also navigating this really well here.
Starting to speed up a little bit here in these familiar board states, but maybe getting a little punished there as getting pushed on top of the board, not quite going to go down, but is going to cover the well a couple times there. Unommed with a really bad board here. We'll see if he's able to find an out on the same time, forced to break the Surge. And wow, really nice survival there. Able to kind of bob and weave through the sends there.
Right, so we have Pentag here. Ooh, bad couple of misdrops here. Is going to be able to open up the well eventually. Has a little bit of an interesting stack, but is going to be just fine navigating that. Unommed also opening up just fine. So both players doing okay here, just like sending a little bit of garbage back and forth. Unommed being pushed all the way to the top, but has a great down stack for it, and is going to be able to put on a lot of pressure with this down stack. And Pentag just kind of caught out here. Doesn't have a great board state.
Yeah, just really unfortunate the pieces did not come in the order that Pentag wanted there, and that's going to be a 3-0 to Unommed. And so if I'm Pentag here, I might be sweating a little, but still pretty confident out of the opener. 4 PBS there. I'll just go for a counter spike, but that is going to give Unommed the Surge advantage. Unfortunately, the misdrop is going to cause an early send.
Alright, Unommed here
Just
under a
gonna clean
lot
up
of
these.
pressure. Ooh, did they navigate this? They're getting some good skims, but it looks like they might get out. Oh, it's close. It's so close, but I don't think that's it. And it'll be Pentag getting on the board.
Solid round from Pentag. Able to jump on the opportunity to get the kill on Unommed there. As both players will opt for some variant of early T-spin double there. Whereas Unommed is just opting straight to the 5-4 all the way to the top of the board already, but is pretty safe. But a bit of a spiky board. And that misdrop is going to be pretty bad and not able to downstack in time. It's going to be another round for Pentag.
Alright, Pentag bringing this a lot closer after the 3-0 start from Unommed. So we have Unommed here starting off with... Actually, both players starting off with the TKI variation once again. Again, just trying to keep it a little bit safe, probably keeping it clean.
Unommed with an unfortunate OP misdrop. I noticed that, unfortunately, during this game, it does seem like the stacking hasn't been as clean as I imagined they wanted. And I just hope that that's not going to be affecting their mental here, but it doesn't seem like it, as Pentag is kind of trapped at the top of the board there, and Unommed is going to take another round.
Alright, so we have Unommed here starting off with the PCO. Pentag doing the same. Gets the PC, but Unommed chooses not to go for it. Pentag getting this DPC axe started, actually. Continuing the PC chain. Unommed misdrops. Wait. This could be the position Pentag needs to punish.
Yeah, but that line is going to go through, stopping the loop, but now Pentag has a very solid 9 surge advantage. Opts to wait to send it off, but that is going to allow Unommed to get into a safe position, and unfortunately... that is not going to kill anymore, but Unommed's still stuck in this 9-0 stack, which is nothing to scoff at. Pentag with another big send, but just still, Unommed's not quite going to go down there. So we'll have to see if Pentag can get another send in time, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to find it, and Unommed is now just very, very comfortable on this clean board.
A little bit cheesed up here. Does eventually manage to dig through it. Unommed here just needs to open up a little bit. Has a slight hole in the stack. Is also going to skim it out. And Pentag here... kind of just... Actually, both players kind of just cancel each other, so both are relatively neutral in this mid-game position right now.
Yeah. Solid sends, but not quite going to affect Unommed, really, as going for the big spike there, 22 spike, kind of finds that almost out of nowhere. I mean, obviously the cheese was there, but very unexpected. This Pentag now sending that right back with a 7 surge. But both players are going to be like pretty unfazed by that.
Alright, we have Unommed trying to put on a little bit of pressure. Already built up a little bit of surge, but Pentag isn't going to be able to do that much. And so both players once again just really low on the board, kind of keeping it safe, keeping it even.
And it's around this point, like, at least for me, I imagine that some of the mental fatigue is starting to set in. Like, these rounds are long. And so it's hard to find these like correct down stacks, correct send opportunities for that long. As I say that Unommed is getting pushed to the top of the board, but Pentag not quite able to capitalize on that.
And Unommed has kind of just been given free time here to like fix the stack, and Hao has gone into a much better one. Pentag kind of just at the bottom right now, not really in that great of a position. Probably looking to maintain this back-to-back. Sets up the STSD, but have been too aggressive. Gets a nice combo down stack though for their troubles, and is going to misdrop the JPs, but I think they're okay.
Still with a big surge advantage, and is going to maybe catch out Pentag, yeah. Unfortunately not going to be able to find that down stack in time. Unommed with a really intelligent fix there with an L-spin, able to maintain the surge and get the kill there. As we come out with a blazing 4.5 PPS SDPC there. That 20 spike is going to come out right away, going to tank the send there, and that surge is going to knock out Pentag.
But an unfortunate eye misdrop at the top. Had to live if they just took the quad, but misdropped the eyepiece, and it's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. As Pentag here, with a pretty solid surge, is going to send that out early. And both players are kind of just chilling at the bottom of the board here. Unommed with quick send, Pentag stacking for the T-spin triple there. With a nice combo down second, that's going to catch out Unommed. Just a bit of an overstack there. A few wasted eyes from what I could see, and that's going to be another round to Pentag.
It's a big 200 APM round there from Pentag. He's gonna need a couple more of those on match point right now. And I'm starting off with a misdrop, which isn't gonna bode well. Kind of just forces skim a little bit. Pentag though also misdrops the TPs, so needs to find their way out of this.
Yeah. Should just barely be able to get out in time. Unommed is stacking up for a big send, but on the 8-1 board, it's going to take a while to get there. But oh, unfortunately, Pentag is going to delay a little. Maybe thought they had the T-spin double there, but doesn't find it, and Unommed is going to take that round.
Yeah, okay,
so that's a 7-3.
we're gonna... Yeah.
That's a 7-3 to UDUB, which will definitely put the later rounds into question. Like, obviously, Purdue, by the stats, is a stronger team, but maybe not enough to make up that much of a point differential. I think that's 14 points there. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Potato, what do you got?
So now it's 9-14, and Unommed did really good to give Pentag fewer points than probably expected. So now that it's third round, UDUB still has Koopa Lover in the bag to probably just sack and get that counterpick control. And then at that point, the remaining players are flowerpetal and Grape will probably win. So all flowerpetal really needs to do is just get some points now. And then, so basically at this point, it's kind of favored for UDUB. So Purdue is just gonna have to like hope that their players play well and get a lot of points. Because at this point the draft is pretty simple. Koopa Lover should just be getting put in and just sacking for the third round loss. And then now it's just up to the players themselves.
It does look like Koopa Lover will be sent in, and Purdue opts to send Cookie Epic Week 1. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that matchup comes out. Koopa Lover, the GOAT, beloved by all of UDUB, despite playing League, as Interogator went out of his way to mention to me.
Yeah. Any points that Koopa Lover gets here are good. It just extends their lead more. Yeah. So we'll see how they play.
Yeah, and Koopa Lover is, a pretty solid fundamental player. Is able to respond to these kind of clean sends here, so it's possible to catch out Epic here on a few rounds, as Epic does go for the extended SDBC in the opener here, but seems to misdrop it a little bit.
Koopa Lover maintaining this LST stack right now, but Epic getting a big down stack. Is putting on that pressure. Koopa Lover being sent up pretty high here, forced to surge break, but Epic just needs to put on a couple more lines and that should be it.
I really like the idea there, actually. Koopa Lover did have a pretty nice sequence to clean up the LST, but just unfortunately isn't able to think it through in time and is going to get topped out there.
Yeah, it's definitely close enough to where Koopa Lover can definitely take like significant points here on Cookie. But if Cookie can get like a clean sweep here, despite the fact that UW now has counter picks, it should be pretty solidly Purdue favored in terms of point differential. Though it should definitely still be very close.
Yep. So we'll have to see. As Koopa Lover here, as we get into the round, is opting to build the TKI there, now into the 9-0, able to open up the well. Meanwhile, Epic is stuck in the awkward 8-1, but opts to send off that surge. Great cancel from Koopa Lover, and should be safe here for a little while at least. But Epic is about to open up the well here.
Alright, Epic, yeah, forced to down stack a little bit, is going to open up about now. Gets into a little bit of a combo multiplier, and Koopa Lover in a really bad position. Couldn't really deal with that, despite it just being like a relatively small, like 12 to 16 spike.
Yeah, just got a little stuck on the top of the board after a bit of an awkward misdrop. But seemingly unfazed, is going to opt for the PCO build here. Epic decides to send it and might start PC looping here. And that's just like straight freestyle PC, so love to see that. But that one line is going to come through from Koopa, and I think that will put him in a pretty advantageous spot here with the open well as well. Epic with a nice way to downstack there, and that won't be too bad for them.
Alright, so we have Koopa Lover here just trying to build up this 8-1 stack a little bit. Should probably skim out of this soon, but chooses to maintain a little bit of back-to-back regardless. Is forced to just Surge Break. Epic seems to have misdropped a bit, but it's a clean down stack. It shouldn't be too bad. And is now going to try to put on a little bit of pressure. Koopa Lover also in a position though to maybe get a little bit of damage out.
Yeah, speaking of getting a little bit of damage out, unfortunately Epic is going to be able to build up a spike in time, but Koopa Lover is going to cancel that pretty nicely, and now was in a pretty good spot, but unfortunately that send is going to go nowhere, and so now forced to kind of play this ping pong game of just sending the garbage back and forth with these big spikes from both sides.
I mean, the Surge Break from Cookie there doesn't really get any damage onto Koopa Lover's board. And so both players, yeah, relatively low in a somewhat even position. Epic taking a second to find the down stack there, but is going to be able to just skim out into this decent down stack. And now has the open well for the double quad. Sends a big one over, but Koopa Lover able to also find a down stack of their own.
Yeah, I really liked Koopa Lover's board there, but unfortunately just maybe not able to find the amount of damage that they wanted to find. But has another chance here with the big open well. Both players are going to wait a little bit, and the sends are going to come through, but it's not going to be much of an effect on either side. Now, Koopa Lover,
crucial chain misdrop. Yeah, no, this is unfortunate there, and Cookie catching him out.
But again, if you're Koopa Lover, you're pretty happy that you're taking these rounds late, and certainly we saw a lot of opportunities where Koopa Lover could potentially catch Epic lacking here. So, you know, hope is not lost for sure, and you want to take as many rounds as you can. That's definitely the mental going in.
Okay, Cookie here has 7, 8 back-to-back into the perfect clear. It's almost enough to kill. Koopa Lover, though, still hanging on for dear life. Epic waiting a bit too long, was confident in the victory there, and that was the thing Koopa needed to get out of that.
Yeah, a really nice down stack there. Keeping the composure under pressure, and now should be able to just stick in this LST formation here. Might opt to switch to a different board state here with the Z-spin, but now some unfortunate delays are going to put him in a weird position, as Epic is just stacking 9-0, just kind of making full advantage of that speed advantage there. And those sends, unfortunate eye misdrop is going to lead to the round for Epic. And that's 3-0 on the board.
Cookie with a pretty commanding lead here. Starts off with the PCL. Opting to go into second, does get it. Koopa kind of just stuck right now, taking a long time to figure out this down stack. Does eventually manage to open up though.
Yeah, but I do like this kind of more methodical gameplay from Koopa. As unfortunately not going to pan out there, but I think that sort of gameplay is what you need. You need to just be looking for these counter spikes to kind of catch Epic off guard in this matchup that should be, you know, so winning for them.
Also, shout out to the mid-game Trinity there from Cookie. Or I don't think it was necessarily mid-game because I think it was out of opener, but regardless, impressive nonetheless.
Yeah. It's Koopa here looking for a nice S-spin there. Is able to find it and should be able to open up the well nicely with the T-spin there. Meanwhile, Epic kind of waiting, started to play a little bit more composed, maybe realized that Koopa doesn't really have the firepower to kill them from most board states. And is now, as we can see here, like waiting a little bit on these sends, able to catch Koopa off guard there. And that'll be 5-0 for Epic here.
Yeah, Cookie already in a very commanding lead right now. This sweep would be pretty massive for Purdue in terms of point difference. Oh, but misdropping the Z piece out of the opener is forced to just kind of skim out of this, but Koopa Lover doesn't really have the resources to put on any sort of pressure. So Cookie's just going to convert into a very clean 7-2 stack.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. T-spin misdrop there, but Koopa's able to clean up pretty nice, but now in a really, really abstract board there. Gonna have to build up really high to get it, but is able to get out. So really solid survival from Koopa Lover there. Epic just not able to find anything in time. And now in a very comfortable board state here in the LSC.
Right, Koopa Lover putting on that pressure, gets a big 17 spike. Cookie, though, still alive, needs a couple more skims. Hanging on for dear life, but gets what he needs, and that's going to be Cookie making his way down. Koopa Lover forced to just take a couple of combo skims here. And just
really
needs to
greedy.
also get out.
really greedy with the T-spin there, but is going to pay off for Koopa Lover, as now the well is open, and that will be a solid 12 spike coming out for Epic, forced to skim off there. As both players will just be pretty relaxed at the bottom of their board. But definitely, as we see in this match, these sends can kind of come out of nowhere. As speaking of out of nowhere, Koopa Lover with a solid 10 spike. Not quite going to kill Epic here, but is going to send top of the board as Epic responds in turn.
Oh, but it's a great board state for Koopa. Big spike potential. Needs to get through it, though. Epic, though, gets to his well just in time. And now also has a great stack. Koopa Lover taking a long time, misdropping the Z-spin. That's so unfortunate, but Epic also taking a long time to find this T-spin mini. So both players are kind of able to just get out of their precarious positions.
Yeah, as Koopa here is able to get a nice weight to survive there, and now has a lot of ammunition. But you have to imagine that maybe the pressure of this crucial round is starting to get to both players, as Koopa here is going to be pushed to the top of the board, but Epic just not able to take advantage. And now a lot of firepower coming out if Koopa Lover can open up the board here.
This match has been much closer than the scoreline would suggest so far. Both players giving, keeping it pretty even overall. But Epic is kind of just now the one downstacking here in a not in a great position, but actually finds a great combo downstack. Never mind. It's super creative stuff, and putting on that pressure, Koopa Lover unable to... No, actually does also manage to live it. It's incredible downstack sequences from both players.
Yeah, and you know, Koopa Lover there is probably face-palming that 20-something spike just didn't kill there. But, it's going to take a little bit more than that to take down the next ranked player, as both players here are just kind of waiting. Especially during this high gravity, you want to be very, very careful with your sends, as we're already on 3 minutes on the timer.
Yeah, now Epic is going to just continue to put on a little bit of pressure, going for this clean 10 spike, but Koopa Lover not really feeling it. 10 spikes aren't enough to really do it that much at this level of gameplay. And so, yeah, we kind of have both players kind of just navigating into the center of the boards, but it's relatively even.
But is able to get that send in time. So now the onus is on Koopa, and it isn't going to be able to find that down second time, and that's going to be another top out. Epic going to take that hard-won round for a 6-0, and Koopa Lover really needs to get to the board here.
Right, Koopa Lover starting off with the LST, Epic just with the perfect clear.
Epic does look like they're going to be PC looping here, but despite the number of PCs that have been sent, there's not much garbage on Koopa's board. Like the mini T-spin there to get him out of this position, but isn't able to find the super efficient downstacks that he wants here. Meanwhile, Epic pretty comfortable here. Nice Prophecy T-spin, and that might spell trouble for Koopa Lover, but no, he's able to find that downstack in time.
Epic here with a great downstack. Just Koopa Lover also managed to cancel basically all of it, so is pretty low on the board with a relatively safe stack. Yeah, both players kind of in this neutral position. Neither one in too much danger. Epic sends a bit of garbage over. Koopa Lover just canceling really nicely.
18 spike right into the Z-spin there, but again, just these sends just don't seem to be doing anything. Despite the numbers, we're not really seeing that reflecting the garbage lines, but there, Epic is going to send a really big spike there, a really nice sequence, and that is going to catch out Koopa on the 9-0 stack. So maybe the closest 7-0 I've ever seen.
No, actually.
Yeah, but if you're Koopa, unfortunate that you can't take a couple rounds there. But we will be getting into that third round pick here, or excuse me, the fourth round pick here.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad for UDUB that Koopa Lover was not able to get any rounds. So this definitely helps Purdue a lot, because now that the score is 16-14, Purdue still has their top 2 players left, while UDUB has their best player Grape and their third best, or around third best, flowerpetal left. So Grape is very favored to beat LMNT or Tillvit. Probably LMNT because UDUB does have the counter pick control for these last 2 rounds. so they would want to put Grape into Purdue's best player. So because of this, Washington or UW just wants Grape to win and flowerpetal to get points, because that's what they need to win. They need a Grape win and flowerpetal to get 2 more points than LMNT does, and that would secure them the win. And Purdue, of course, just doesn't really have a choice in the matter anymore. Just has to put LMNT into Grape, Tillvit into flowerpetal, and hope that LMNT does good and Tillvit also does good.
Yeah, and kind of as Interogator predicted here, it really is a lot closer than what the stats seem to indicate. And it does seem at this point that the players who play better are going to take the win here, as it does look like Tillvit will be sent out for this next match. So we should see flowerpetal into Tillvit. Not quite confirmed yet, but there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Black sending flowerpetal in, and so now we'll have to see. These two players, bit of a TR differential there, but certainly nothing that you can't take rounds from, so this will be a pretty exciting match.
Alright, yeah, if flowerpetal can again get like significant points here, or even a win, that would just pretty much lock it in for UDUB, but Tillvit, definitely much stronger, so this is a massive uphill battle for UDUB at this point.
Yeah. What I will say is that what Cookie has said to me in the past is that, what Cookie has indicated in their interview is that LMNT, no slouch themselves. I mean, they have peaked X plus rank, and Purdue has described him as their ace in the hole, but that's for the next match, as we are going to get into this warm-up here between Tillvit and flowerpetal.
Yeah, LMNT always a treat to watch. I commentated LMNT beating RKY last year to send Purdue to grand finals, so definitely a great player to watch out in the future. But for this match, Tillvit right now a little bit on the back foot, sent pretty high, but now it has the one putting on the pressure. flowerpetal has massively cheesed up, and so she needs to kind of find a way out. It's taking a second to do so, but doesn't have a great board state.
Yeah, and that unfortunate spiky board is going to lead to the round for Tillvit, but that is just the warm-up. I imagine both players can't be feeling much from the results either way there. And we should get straight into the game here.
Alright. flowerpetal could definitely use her like TETR.IO global moderator powers though to maybe, you won't say cheat, but affect the match, which I think would be pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely do that.
Players disconnect all the time, so we will have to see. But getting into the match here, both players don't really have much of a surge. Notably, flowerpetal a little slow at the offset, playing at a 1.8, looking like me right now. But unfortunately, that slowdown is going to lead to a spike out, and Tillvit's going to take the first round there.
Alright, now we have Tillvit opting for the TKI, flowerpetal waiting a second there, but also going for the TKI. So both players just keeping it close. flowerpetal opting in for a bit of the LST stack. Tillvit just playing more flexible, just opting to open up the stack and get a much cleaner board for it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, flowerpetal here with a pretty solid surge lead. Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed from flowerpetal. Very, very strong keeping surge and building surge on these awkward boards. As we already get the 12 surge here, but unfortunately that board state is going to cause maybe a bit of an early break, but might still be enough to get Tillvit here. And yeah, just barely enough. Tillvit is not able to find the down stack, and that's going to be 1-1.
Alright, yeah, flowerpetal keeping it close right now. She's opting for the PCO to start Tillvit with the DT cannon, so an old classic here. flowerpetal, interesting hole in the stack, seems to have fixed it. Doesn't go for the donation, and choosing to just count to 4 here from what it looks like.
Yeah, opting to just get down here with a bit of that awkward one-line cheese there. And might decide here to just try to continue getting down at these A1 boards. Meanwhile, Tillvit pushed all the way to the top of the board. Not sure what happened there, but unfortunately just getting caught out by flowerpetal sends there.
An unfortunate misdrop from Tillvit, just, kind of getting caught out there and didn't really have the piece to get out of that. Once again, Tillvit opting for the DT cannon, flowerpetal with this LSD stack.
Yeah. And that is going to work out for Tillvit. There's a lot of cheese on flowerpetal's board, more than you would seem to expect from the DT cannon, and yeah, that's going to be the round for Tillvit. I know in Season 2 we're not super big on DT cannon, but the classics always work.
Yeah,
My sense of the matter
flowerpetal
has
once
always
again
been
with the
that.
PCO. Actually, both players with PCO. And so, yeah, flowerpetal though, with a little bit cleaner of a stack, but Tillvit with the massive surge lead already. Has a cut copy. Goes for it, converts it nicely, and gets another 8 for it. flowerpetal has no surge to speak of. And so needs to find a way to deal with this surge. It's a big 23 spike, but navigates it beautifully and gets the down stack that she wanted.
Super, super clean there from flowerpetal, and now Tillvit is the one kind of having to play from behind here, as a few misdrops, but is going to be able to clean it up. And now flowerpetal, really unfortunate J misdrop. That might be it if they can't find J in time. Just barely living here. That send might be it. Slight delay, and unfortunate is going to top out there.
Yeah, just no way to get out there for flowerpetal. Tillvit putting on some good pressure there, playing at 3.2 PPS, 150 APM.
Tillvit still opting to build a DT cannon. I mean, if it's good enough for Dorami, it's good enough for Tillvit. And now flowerpetal again pushed to the top of the board, but Tillvit, I was going to say, doesn't have much, but is able to open up that well really fast. And now flowerpetal is again going to be pretty cheesed up. And this is another thing we've seen from flowerpetal, that despite being very solid at holding the surge, maybe isn't able to do it on these super cheesy boards, and Tillvit's certainly playing around that.
Alright, Tillvit pretty low on the board right now. Just choosing to not really send that much, putting on a little bit of pressure, but flowerpetal is going to be able to live that pretty well, and now has the opportunity to dash back a little bit, though is super cheesed up. Is going to have to deal with that eventually.
And as you say, that pretty clean down stack coming out, but the cheese just kind of seems to be never ending from Tillvit here. Just a very solid all-spin player, just making all these sounds really weird, as flowerpetal pushing top of the board. A great weight there is going to allow her to live, but not quite out of the woods yet. Opting for another T-spin, but unfortunately blocking up the down stack there.
And Tillvit seems to be pretty defensively inclined here, always keeping the board safe and clean, not trying to, be too greedy with it. Now, slight misdrop in the middle of the board, but it should be okay. Oh no! Gets caught out just the right amount of lines. I think it was like 1 or 2 fewer lines from flowerpetal that would have been Tillvit living.
Yeah, and that was just like 2 pieces off from my count from that T-spin. So yeah, a great time from flowerpetal there. As both players go into the TKI here, Tillvit with a fractal continuation.
Alright, flowerpetal dealing with the big spike pretty well. Needs to open up the stack though. Blocked off the well and the S misdrop, and that's going to be proved kind of unfortunate. Tillvit taking a lead once again, but it's been really close so far.
Yeah, and again from UDUB, you are expecting to win this round, so any kind of rounds you can take here are a great boon for Grape versus LMT coming up. But we will be getting into the mid game here. No, the opener phase doesn't really go anywhere, but now flowerpetal and Tillvit are both on pretty comfortable boards.
Yeah, flowerpetal can just take 2 more here. That'd be a massive boon for Grape. So let's see if Tillvit here is just able to find a nice down stack, and it's going to keep it low, keep it safe once again. Send over the surge, but flowerpetal is going to be able to live that pretty easily. Oh no, but misdrops the Z piece. Does find a decent 180 fix for it, and should be able to get out of it, but yeah, Tillvit just unable to punish there.
Just had some great survivals this set, especially during against an opponent who is as explosive as Tillvit, but this might be pretty rough. Again, just push to the top of the board with his cheese. It seems so hard for flowerpetal to get anything started here, but is able to consistently find these down stacks every time.
Yeah, Tillvit, interesting, seems to have misdropped in the center here, and now just forced to skim once again. flowerpetal sending over a good chunk of damage, but Tillvit taking a second to figure out what they want to do there. Almost getting killed there, but just find the clutch clears and is able to live this. Yeah, almost getting hesitating for a second here can honestly just get you killed. But it's been good stuff from Tillvit so far.
pretty comfortable. Tillvit 2 looking pretty comfortable. There are a few lines covering the down stack here, but it shouldn't be any problem for flowerpetal as they are going to open up that well here.
Alright, so we have Tillvit here trying to just put on a little bit more pressure. Gets a nice 18 spike with flowerpetal, not really doing too badly. Has the clean 9-0. Going to get the count to 4 and is going to continue this into a pretty clean stack up, but flowerpetal under so much pressure right now. Is living it beautifully though, and Tillvit unable to punish and seems to have misdropped.
Yeah, great survival from flowerpetal to one of the biggest surge leads we've seen in the game, I think. As flowerpetal is going to build his T-spin, but in a bit of an awkward board state. The parity's slightly off there, and flowerpetal is going to have to break there. Overall, not too shabby. Tillvit doesn't have any surge, so kind of getting away with that one for free.
Alright, Tillvit here needs to find a surge break. Does it for the 19. flowerpetal's still alive though. Doesn't have an eyepiece for miles though. Is taking a long time to find this downside. Tillvit unable to punish. Oh no, it does manage to find the sense, but misdrops the eyepiece at the last second. However, just enough to kill flowerpetal after a pretty long round there.
Yeah. That was such an unfortunate cue there from flowerpetal, just barely blocking off the down stack as we are getting to opener phase there. Tillvit with another break forcing them, or another misdrop forcing them to break early. Meanwhile, flowerpetal on a very, very clean board. But some awkwardness on the down stack is going to cause a surge break, and now flowerpetal is going to be sent to the top of the board. Tillvit does have the Tetris, and that is going to catch out flowerpetal, and that's going to be 6-3.
Yeah, Tillvit already on match point here. flowerpetal, if flowerpetal can just get a couple more points here, that would be really good for UDUB. Okay, both players opting in for a bit of a TKI start. The Tillvit not going into the TKI, just choosing to skim, play it really safe here.
Yeah, I think if you're Tillvit here, you're really, really concerned about dropping points. You don't want to drop anything else, so forced to kind of play these very, very defensive playstyles that you might not go for in like a Tetris League game. But as I say that, very clean board from Tillvit, and that might be it for flowerpetal. Oh, a nice down stack there, and flowerpetal will live another day.
A flowerpetal hanging on for dear life is going to need to do so once again, so close to the top, but again, great downstack vision. And Tillvit just unable to punish once again. This is looking pretty good for the UDUB player. Has a decent board state, though seems to have misplaced the eye and now just forced to skim once again.
Yeah, really unfortunate that flowerpetal couldn't find some more explosiveness on the downside there, but it's still going to be alive, and that is what matters here. The board state is a little bit awkward, but flowerpetal has just been so consistent in finding these really nice combo down stacks that I don't think it's going to be much of a problem.
Alright, flowerpetal under a lot of pressure and is on a surge deficit. Tillvit breaks. I think that might be it, and that'll be Tillvit closing it out 7-3. So it's a pretty... I think that is just the... Yeah, that should just be the win for Purdue here in the third place match.
Yeah, the GGs are coming out in the chat there. And yeah, so this last match will be for honor then, as we see 24-16. But we will be seeing Grape versus LMNT. This matchup is a little favored for Grape. Grape at the moment is slightly higher ranked, but like we mentioned earlier, LMNT, solid player, has been around for a long time, so we'll have to see where this goes.
Yeah,
Alright, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of just over. Unfortunately.
It is kind of just over, but
not much to say.
Yeah, but I'm sure Grape does want to put in a good show here still, and LMT, I imagine, doesn't want to lose at least. That does look like the matchup is decided here. Grape saying that they eat balls, I eat myself. So maybe related to Interogator's comments there.
Alright, yeah, I mean, we've seen Lemon Tea beat even better players relatively, so I'm sure this will definitely be an interesting and pretty fun watch.
Yeah, but I mean, Grape themselves also has had some pretty crazy showings. I think just a couple weeks ago, took 3 points against Mute, who's an incredibly solid player, of course. And this is their rookie year, so great showing in the rookie year for a 4th place here, as I understand it.
Yep.
But we will be getting to warm up. So notably here, yeah, both. Oh, LMT is going for a bit of a strange opener. I have to imagine that was a misdrop, and decides to stack up higher, but yeah, not able to find it. It's okay, you get it all out in the warm up.
Oh wait, that was that one opener. Oh, I forgot his name, but it's like, well, it was that. I think there was a misdrop on top of it, but it's like, yeah, it was like one of the very niche ones.
Tillvit themselves.
Was Sewer? It was Sewer. Okay, I was about to say. I don't fully remember Sewer, but like, yeah, that did kind of look like it.
Yeah, Tillvit is shocked at that. As it does look like Grape is just gonna quickly leave and rejoin here. I mean, again, LMT is playing from like a 300 TR deficit, but we've seen some pretty crazy showings from UDUB here, and Purdue, both teams. So, certainly we'll hopefully see that again. As getting right into the match here, LMNT with a great all-clear send, but Grape is just able to counterspike that really nicely. Now both players are on a pretty even board state. Grape has some misdrops to figure out, but is able to get down in time and should be pretty safe here. A nice all-spin sequence. It's going to lead to a nice surge advantage. Unfortunate J misdrop, but yeah, that should be the survival for Grape there.
Yeah, Grape just needs to navigate a little bit of this cheese. Lemon Tea doing just fine here. Oh, wanted the STSD, but seems to have misdropped it. Does have a couple skims to live, but oh, just one piece off. And that's kind of unfortunate, but Grape does take the first round.
As now the early O, this is again the big question mark for all the sets. LMT going for not the STPC there. Meanwhile, Grape just opting for a more traditional, the Hachi spin. Grape going for a more traditional opener, but isn't able to get the I piece in time for the 9-0. And that will be a round to LMT. And again, any points here are just kind of for honor, but I'm sure LMNT would want to solidify that Purdue win as solidly as they can.
Well, yeah, it would also be for my point differential for my pick'ems. Yay! So, thank you, Lemon Tea.
They don't call you rank 1 non-organizer pick'ems for no reason. Yeah. As now Grape here in a decent spot, LMNT 2 with some really nice overhangs there. But unfortunately, he's going to have to break surge, and now Grape is in a pretty solid advantage here. That 24 spike is going to come out. LMNT doesn't seem to have much, kind of waiting on the down stack, and that if it wasn't it before, that's going to be it now. Yeah, and that's just going to get blown up there. Grape, not making the mistake of stopping the pressure there.
Okay, so yeah, multiple people tried to make us stop commentating, but I have mad channel points. Do not try me. Okay. Anyway, so we have Lemon Tea here with the clean 5-4 stack, trying to make their way down. Grape, though, has the surge advantage, and Lemon Tea just forced to break it. Gets a nice 16 spike, but Grape in a super good board state to counter attack and able to put on a little bit more pressure. Also forcing the surge break, but has a big 20 spike for their troubles.
Yeah, both players will kind of cancel into a pretty even board state here, and now Grape is just going to be kind of farming surge here, but he's forced to break after some awkward piece placements. Still, that 7-2 is going to be pretty deadly here for LMT, but LMT is able to find a really nice counter spike. Unfortunately, not quite going to top out Grape, and now in a really weird board state. Yeah, we see these giant spikes just being sent back and forth, as this does seem to be the kind of idea of the round there. Unfortunately, that is going to be a top out for LMT.
Alright, shout out to Dig Cheeser trying to continue our commentary streak. Yeah, Lemon Tea once again with the hot cheese spin. Grape just choosing to open up into the 7-2 stack. And just going to continue putting on a little bit of pressure, but both players at a pretty even surge right now. Grape forced to break first. Lemon Tea has to break in response as well. It's a nice 16 combo down stack. Grape unable to fully counter, and that's going to be another one for Lemon Tea.
Yeah, just kind of hesitating a little bit on that overhang, but I don't think that could have saved them. And now LMT, it's going to build the PCO there. I do like how they've been playing these opener rounds, just kind of knowing that Grape likes to go for these more explosive openers and then just counter spiking with that ginormous spell. You see a nice weight there too. And now they're at a 6 surge advantage, 7 surge advantage. And we can just keep counting there as Grape is going to keep sending LMT able to hold on to the surge, and that 24 spike is going to top out Grape right away there. Very solid round for LMT.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, Lemon Tea keeping this really close right now. Okay, Grape starting off with the LST, Lemon Tea just going, not LST, TKI, Lemon Tea starting off with the Hachi spin. Grape much higher up on the board right now, but Grape has a great down stack for it.
I think again, I feel like LMT is playing this PPS differential really, really well. You know, just able to hold on to the surge for so much longer and gives him a lot of options, just like right there. Realize he's in trouble and just breaks right away. But now this is where Grape has an advantage at the bottom of the board, just able to send out so much. And 180 APM is going to be hard for LMT to contend with, especially with the surge's advantage now. Slight weight here.
Bad
Unfortunate
misdrops
misshot.
from
Grape might
Lemon
recognize
Tea.
that. Yeah, Grape
He's
does see it,
surged.
and
Will
now
Lemon
that
Tea live this? The answer is no. Big spike
yes.
from Grape.
Yeah, great recognition there on the misdrop, and that would be 4-3 for Grape. So another Leo. Both players opting for the TKI this time. LMT does find the PC, but maybe not a great PC, as Grape is just coming out of here with pretty solid advantage. LMT is pushed to the top of the board and now minus 10 here after having to break that surge. So, the onus is on Grape to kind of just keep this lead up. 15.
Lemon Tea massively behind on Surge, already down 15, but Grape finding the Surge break, but does nothing to Lemon Tea's board. Lemon Tea now has a great board state and is able to downstack this cleanly. So trying to put on a little bit of pressure, but Grape also navigating this really well and putting on pretty solid cancels, and now just looking for this Kaidon, gets it, and into hopefully further pressure.
Oh, just a
greedy.
very greedy T-spin there, yeah. As unfortunately not able to get to the eyepiece in time, and that is going to be the round for LMT. So 4-4. As we should see a hot spin from LMT and the TKI from Grape, if I'm not mistaken there. But both players will kind of get into a comfortable 7-2 here. Grape with some fancy all spins at the bottom of the board. But that unfortunate misdrop is going to cause an early break.
Alright, we have Grape here, kind of low on the board, putting up a little bit of all spin. Lemon Tea, taking a second to kind of navigate through this. And yeah, it's going to be okay. Grape here has a bit of a surge lead now, and trying to put on that pressure. Lemon Tea unable to dig out fully, actually, and that's going to be Grape taking the lead once again, but Lemon Tea keeping this super close.
Yeah, both players here opt for the PCO. Grape just kind of keeps building, doesn't like to take the PCO here. And that will be a solid fractal here. Grape is going to be able to send so much right now. We'll see if they send the surge too, but that 33 spike is not going to get anywhere on Lemon Tea's board here. And that's going to be a great survival in the face of just a massive send there. Grape is looking for some way to continue the surge there, but isn't able to find it and will top out. That's going to be 5-5.
Putting up an absolute masterclass here despite the rank deficit. So, yeah, keeping it close.
Yeah, super close, says that hasn't really been a very big score differential for this whole match here. The 8-1 here, but unfortunately some misdrops on Lemon Tea's side is going to mean that that awkward board state is going to pay off. It's going to be match point for Grape now. So we'll have to see. This is still doable for Lemon Tea for sure, especially the way they've been playing.
Alright. Lemon Tea gets the double PC with the 2-line PC clear, but Grape big down stack combo. It's
Yeah, great
right,
job accepting from Grape,
huge.
but that... Yeah, that Surge Break does come out, and now Grape's turn to kind of send that all back.
Lemon Tea with the Kaidan on the left needs to find a lot more though. Gets a nice count of 4. Needs a bit more pressure here. Grape struggling a little. Oh, well, actually no. Grape finding some decent down stacks. Needs to get through all this cheese. Actually on the back foot. Lemon Tea trying to get this kill. It's so close, but oh yeah, that is gonna be it. A tiebreaker.
That is our second tiebreaker of the game, starting with a tiebreaker, ending with a tiebreaker, as Grape is calling good luck in the chat. Keith's is calling curse be upon Purdue. Certainly this is a match for honor only at this point. As now Grape at the bottom of the board, some great Allspin sends. Meanwhile, LMT does have some garbage to send through, but is going to have to get Grape off this pretty big surge lead here.
Yeah, Lemon Tea at a massive surge deficit right now, but Grape in a even worse board state. Okay, cancels with the surge break and needs to open this up. Does so successfully. It looked really dire, and also with the eyepiece misdrop, that's not going to bode well. Grape needs a big down stack. Does find the big down stack, and Lemon Tea unable to punish. Going to open this up though with big surge, and is going to be forced to break as well. Both favors keeping this so close. Grape though unable to live. Lemon Tea taking and beating another higher ranked player in back-to-back years. Congratulations to Lemon Tea.
Yeah, and of course that's Purdue's ace in the hole there. Lemon Tea, kind of running down the great one there. The great one, if you will. And yeah, that will be the match to Purdue, 31 to 20. Sorry, I can't see that exactly. 22, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's a solid showing from both teams. Again, if you're UDUB here, I imagine you're feeling pretty good about your performance. I'm sure Absurd Potato could confirm for me, but that's probably as good of a draft as you can imagine to get against a team as competent as Purdue.
Yeah, UW tried their best, and they could have won. I mean, they just needed a little better performance, but it's already an uphill battle. But everyone did pretty good, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
As we will be going to interviews here, I believe. Maybe we'll have to accelerate that a little because I think we are a bit behind schedule with so many close matches. So we'll have to see. And speaking of, while we wait, I see that the world team here is already getting assembled. So that will be our next match, CTL winners UCLA A versus the world here. So we'll have to see how that goes. It's going to be pretty close. I know definitely the analysis on UCLA is that it could go either way for sure. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, should be exciting. All right. Oh wow, that's crazy. Thank you, Lemon Tea, for tuning into the match. If you want to give your interviews, feel free to join pending interviews. We would love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I'm sure someone wants to talk to us. Please, please, please.
Our commentary wasn't that bad.
No, they hate us. Chat, no. Okay, we got Pentag. Okay, let's get Pentag.
Okay.
Or anyone on UWatch? Okay, we got Purdue first. Hello, Pentag.
Give me 1 second. My sound is... just give me 1 second. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, sure.
Perfect.
So just any thoughts on the match today? I know that you won the 3rd place match, so congratulations, obviously. Just any thoughts on the match today, or as well, just your season in general?
Okay.
Wait, I have no thoughts on this.
Okay.
I did not do any drafting or anything. I just played. Wait, sorry, what was the question? Wait, you got it.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
are there more
hi,
than
this
one
is
person here?
Pentag, and
Oh, this is Pentag.
it's
Okay.
Pentag and Lemon Tea interviewing right now. So
Gotcha.
yeah, okay. So to answer your question, we just spent we typically just spend like the minutes before a match determining how drafting to go, and then we kind of just go with what we feel, right? How we're feeling, analyzing play styles, all that stuff, and we're very happy about how we turned out this season. I was very impressed with Lemon Tea's playing in that last round. Very proud of him.
Yeah, definitely making up a pretty substantial deficit there. It is really interesting to hear that the different draft strategies between each teams. They're the Pentags and Lemon Teas, the Purdues of the world, and then also the Zionixes of the world, who I know has been working on this world draft for like an entire week at this point. But any other thoughts on how that match went? I know it was looking a little scary for you at the beginning with those close matches at the beginning. Was that something you were expecting going in?
Yeah, hi. This is Cookie, the captain. I wanted to add like about the drafting. Our teammate Mission failed. He made an engine actually, which helped us with the drafting decisions, right? And about this game, it was kind of dubious at the start. Like I think we got about the expected score we were going to get, and our engine said the win probability was like 60-ish% kind of. So the whole time we were like kind of nervous, and we knew that we were supposed to win, but if like Washington made some big upset, then we could have easily lost. So if like Pentag scored a few less points, if I dropped points to the U rank, or if Tillvit didn't beat flowerpetal, then it would have been really bad for us. So we were nervous like quite a few times during that game.
Yeah. Speaking of that engine, is that Purdue proprietary technology, or will we be seeing some of that soon?
I don't know if we'll be seeing that. That will be up to Mission failed.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll like raid his own. I'll get it. Don't worry, chat.
Okay.
Okay. But anyways, just congratulations once again. I think we're gonna be
Yeah, I did have
wanting
one
to
last
interview you,
question.
Wash, next. Oh, you have one more? Okay, go for
Yeah,
it.
so I did have one last question before you go. Pentag, I know Cookie made a point of mentioning that you really wanted to play against Unommed. How was being able to do that in this pretty crucial third place match? I know you guys have a bit of history together.
I mean, even though I didn't do nearly as well as I hoped, I was really happy to play against my friend from high school in a match again. My TETR.IO Valentine, who divorced me later, but
Oh, no.
I'm still very happy about this matchup. Like, I'm just so happy that I got to play against Washington.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Well, thank you. We will be
Okay,
getting
thank you.
UDUB in here, but we are a little bit behind schedule, so we just kind of gotta speed this up here.
Yeah, we'll make it quick, surely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, because we don't want to delay the upcoming Worlds match between UCLA and Worlds. So yeah, definitely tune in for that, which will happen right after this interview.
Love it.
Okay,
think we're
hello,
going through
you
with-
Washington.
Hello. What's up?
Yeah, how are you guys feeling? Very solid showing from you guys. I know when I talked to you before, it was very much in the air how this match would play out, but you did seem pretty confident going in. How do you feel about the performance and the draft overall?
I think I drafted this wrong. Obviously, like, this
Yeah.
is probably the most high variance matchup that possibly could have happened in, I think, all of playoffs. But I think this really just comes down to me kind of just not being fully prepared for how Purdue plays and like what adaptations they would have done. Nonetheless, again, I'm super proud of how our team played. We kept it pretty close, all things considered, and I can promise everybody we'll be back next year.
Yeah.
A great job in performance. Placing 4th place is nothing to be ashamed of, and y'all had a really good season overall. Just any thoughts on just how CTL has been for you guys in general? It's like I know you're very proud of your team, and you definitely should be, but just any thoughts on how CTL was for you this year?
And if I could add to that, any thoughts moving forward? I don't know if you guys have any plans after this. Obviously, CTL is not a year-round event, but I'm sure you guys will be looking to get something going in the next season as well.
Sure, I'll start. I mean, what else is there to say? I'm just so proud of this team, man. I mean, we came into this season 6th seed. We're ending in 4th place. I think already that's an amazing result for us. Alongside that, just again, we've played so well throughout this entire tournament. Everyone's been locked in. Everyone's been communicating. The vibes have been immaculate. 40k has not been on the line, but the vibes have been immaculate.
Right.
UDUB going into next year, don't sleep on them. But we will gonna have to speed into the next game here. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in for this interview. And yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck on
Thank you
your,
for participating in CTL this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. So me and UBK will probably be handing it off to Blarg and Gladon, who will be commenting the CTL versus CTL winner UCLA versus Worlds match. So yeah, thank you everyone. And yes, that is Donkey Kong in the back. Okay.